Brandon here, and time for another episode of SexxxPerTease. Today's question is, should I feel guilty hooking up during the pandemic? Personally speaking, I did still hook up during the pandemic, and I did live with someone that's high risk, so it's like, I did feel like that kind of guilt, but I also gonna feel like it is so hard being cooped up in the house, and then you're supposed to be like, really, like, no one's ever gonna leave the house again, you're not gonna hook up. Like, if you're single, like, the world did not stop, even though it did feel like it stopped outside, even though nothing was open. But it's like, people still want to get horny, people still want to have sex, people still want touch and connection and human touch, and they want to feel like wanted and desired and alive. So I feel like it is risky, and you are putting your entire household at risk if you live with someone high risk and you did decide to go out and have random hookups. But I mean, feel like people were still having random hookups, but you just have to be safe without it. Like, maybe you can wear a mask during a hookup, or maybe you can avoid kissing or like mouth-to-mouth contact, or only have like doggy style where you aren't like facing each other. But I feel like no matter what, like if you are sexually involved with someone and they had COVID, you are gonna get it regardless. But I feel like being gay, like, we already have to be at risk for like HIV and worry about that every time we hook up. We have to worry about STIs every time we hook up. So just adding COVID into the mix is just kind of like, okay, another thing to worry about. But I feel like in reality, like, you still are a human being, and you still want touch, you still want love, you still want affection. Like, my boyfriend and I met during a hookup, and I'm glad we still were hooking up during the pandemic. He lives with someone high risk, I live with someone high risk. We may have been risky, but I have no regrets, because again, neither of us got COVID. We both ended up falling in love. So it's like, I did find love during this pandemic, and I feel like if you do shut yourself off and like don't hook up or don't go out and don't date, like, you are just wasting time, because it's like, you're not going to get that year back that we already have been in this pandemic. You're not going to get these time back. So it's like, you might as well still make this time worth it. It's like, the world did not stop. Like, you're still able to go out, date, you're still able to hook up, you're still able to meet people, you're still able to make friends. It's like, it is harder, especially with everything shut down or being at risk, but it's like, you can't just sit in the house all day, every day. Like, that's why people are going crazy. That's why people are losing their minds because of this pandemic, because they've been so cooped up in the house and they're tired of it, and they want to feel something again. They want to feel alive. They want to be out. They want to be social. Like, not everyone, like, this pandemic has been great people that are like introverts and like staying in the house. And like, I'm a homebody, so like, homebodies, like, this is like great for us. Like, we don't mind staying in the house all the time. But people that are like extroverted or like can't stand staying at home all the time, like, this pandemic has been really rough for them and hard for them, because they're social people. They need to be out and about. They need to be like always out running errands or out socializing or out doing something. They hate being cooped up in the house. So yeah, I feel like you shouldn't feel guilty about hooking up during the pandemic, because again, you're a human being. You have needs, you have wants, you have desires. There's only so much you can masturbate and enjoy yourself until you want to have touch with a person. And you also never know, like, maybe your hookup will lead to like a relationship or something, or maybe I mean, it happened to me, but it's like, you still should be putting in effort to date and find love and whatever. And I also feel like the pandemic gives you more incentive to want to find love, because then it's like, yeah, like, who wants to have to deal with random hookups? And it's like, if you deal with a deadly pandemic, and then if you live with someone high risk, and it's like constantly putting them at risk. Or if you're high risk yourself, like, yeah, like, it's the best time to be like in a relationship, or best time to be only hooking up with like certain friends with benefits or fuck buddies you have that are like consistent. It's like, you can still hook up, but just be safe and be smart about it, and protect yourself and protect those around you, and don't make dumb decisions. You don't have to not hook up at all, but just make sure you aren't being reckless, because I feel like probably bathhouses, sex parties, sex clubs, that would be reckless. But if you're just having one-on-one hookups, even though it only takes one person to infect you. So yes, just be safe, and don't negate your own love life or sex life or wants and desires, because you deserve to be sexually fulfilled. You deserve to date. You deserve to find love. So never shut yourself off from meeting new people. So thanks for joining me for this episode of SexxxPerTease.